Hello and welcome. Let's continue to learn about Documaker tables. In the last video, we have seen how to deal with a static type of tables. Now let's see how to handle a dynamic transaction to get in a table structure. Okay, so basically, like in the static type of table, we create a table, how many rows we want, things like that. But when it comes with dynamic, we Documaker does not have a direct dynamic kind of table structure or something. We have to do some workaround kind of thing. We will show that how we usually do, and there could be multiple other ways of doing, but I'll be showing one of the way that we can make create a dynamic table. Okay, so let's see that, and let's see what are the other things that we have. So obviously, like in some situation, we have to display the details dynamically in a multi-row tables. Count of rows gets increased, decreased based on the number of input values. So that's what the dynamic is all about. So your table will grow or decrease accordingly based on the input that we have. So these are the steps, like we'll see them in practical, like what to do and all. So at this point, we'll continue with the rest of the things. So there could be an overflowing content, right? If you're having an overflowing content, if your table grows, okay, so you need to have some other options you need to handle accordingly. So there is grouping the section. Sometimes you may need to group multiple sections inside a group to handle some scenarios, like making the sections to stay together. Okay, so just in case, like if you have two sections in the section 1 and 2 is there in your form, page 1, page number 1 in your form. Okay, so if section 1 is overflowing, having an overflowing content, which makes the section 2 to get into to the page 2. Okay, so that's but you if you are having the state together, wherever it is placed, that particular section, whatever you placed under that group, will be always stayed together. Okay, so we'll see them in practically, we'll see how to do that. So you need to enable this group paginations. You need to by defining header and footer, we can paginate the group. Okay, so we'll see that as well. So this in detail we'll see in the practicals. So let's come back to the dynamic tables, how to create a dynamic table. I'm going to show you that. um, so let I have few sections that I've already created. I'm going to use that for now, so to avoid wasting time on creating this each and everything from the scratch. But since you already know how to create sections, so I'm skipping that part. Okay, so right now, to keep it simple, like I'm going to delete all this in the form list just to keep it clear. Okay, so this won't come anyway because this is specific to NY and things like that, but let's keep it simple for now. Okay, so let's just have only this welcome form now. I'll, before I check in, I'll just add, I'll edit this file. Okay. So at last we'll check in. So we have this thing at this point, like we have already having this static table, and let me add those sections. Okay, so first of all, um, okay, let me add those sections. Okay, so let me add the section here. So before okay, I'll add it and then we'll talk about it. Okay, transaction. Okay, I need to import those sections. Sorry about that. Let me quickly import those. It's section, those files. So these are the section. So I have imported to the library, and now let's go ahead and add this section here in the body. So let's go one by one. Let's this transaction and transaction it. HR. Okay, that's fine. There is one more section is missing, but fine now. Fine for now. That's fine. We have transaction and transaction header. This is fine for now. All right. So we have added that. Let's put it back to the just in the body. Okay, I'm just going to add this also to the after the body. So we have transaction with top. Okay, so this is how we have. So we have the body and then we have this transaction. Basically, this is how we will create table, dynamic table. Okay, so this is one section where we have uh, where we have a kind of a table structure. Okay, so it's just the lines. Okay, if you go to the object size, it is made of one table, single table. Okay, there I mean just a single row. Okay, single row, top and bottom there is lines and things, very simple. Okay, just a single row and 4 columns we added that. Okay, that is fine. So now this is just a static content. Okay, this will not change at all. So we have serial number, include name, policy number and premium amount. Okay, and the next one we are somewhat making on our own, where we have it's a kind of a table structure, but it's not exactly table because there will not be any all these lines and objects are used when it comes to say if you see, this is bottom line, this is side line, and next one, and there is no top line because in the top line we are already having here. Okay, this when this and this merge together, it you can see it's as a table structure. Okay, so that is what we are trying to achieve here. And there is a reason why we put like this, because our transaction will be like multiple, so we need to repeat this entire section on a certain scenario to a certain time of time. Okay, so that's why we are doing this. So let's move on. So we have this section head and transaction, and now I'm going to add a trigger for this transaction so that every time it for it a certain transaction is coming at the input, based on that it will trigger. Okay, so before I add the trigger, I'm going to make some changes in the input file to demonstrate this scenario here. Okay, so till now we have something like this, and I'm going to add this T0 data. Okay, so after the A0 we have some T0s. Okay, so T10 or T0 in this T10. Okay, let's consider T10 only. So in this T10 record, these are the transaction record. Okay, so that's why we say T. Okay, now in transaction, what we are going to do, we are going to add a trigger, and here what we are going to do, use manual trigger. And then here if you see, we usually give in the search marks true or false. Now we are going to give here 1 comma in the counter. Okay, 1 comma T010. Okay, so it is a counter. How many T0 we have, that much time this will be triggered. Okay, so this particular section will be triggered. So what we have in this section, take a look at it. So we have these objects. Okay, serial number. So whenever it runs, it will take the respective serial number from this location, move it 1842. Okay, in 1842 is nothing but this one. All right, so the serial number is coming from this location 18, and then 20 name. Okay, so 18 for 2, okay, that is 42 for 10, that is what, policy number, and we have premium amount, right? 60 for 5, premium amount 60 for 5, and then we have 20 for 10, which is name. Okay, all right, So that's how we are, so every transaction for everything that this section will be called, and the respective data will be filled in here. Okay, so that's the idea. Now this is done. Okay, so let me go ahead and run this. Okay, if I'm missing anything, I'm just checking if I'm missing anything or something. Okay, all right, it's fine. So I will just move a little down, maybe 0.2 space. Sorry, not here, maybe here. Okay, 0.2 space. It's very close to the, okay, so there is a gap here. Okay, that's not a problem, but to keep it clear and things like that. Okay, all right, so those things are done. This will be fine. Let's check in and I will take a run. Let's see what happens. Before that, let me, we have added this thing newly. Okay, so just checking whether we have all those eligibility things and all. Okay, it seems to be fine. Okay, this is done. All right, now check in back in this area. Okay, this is fine. So I'm going to check in this form list as well. If the definition file opened, just for my things. Okay, this is nothing to do. Just keep it open so that I can easily edit the file from here. Okay, the form list file. All right, now coming back to our run that. Okay, let's run and get the output. Hope there is some error. No error. Okay, good. Let's open the data file. So here, so our welcome letter is coming. Okay, and serial number. So there is no data, things are not coming. So there is some issue. Okay, let's see what is the issue quickly. There is something wrong. So view file, nothing to edit on the form list, so I'm just viewing it. But yes, I may need to edit it, so I'm just taking that. This is not coming, so there is some issue with the trigger, or maybe 300. Hold on a second. So what is the issue? It looks fine here from the triggering standpoint. Okay, got it. I think we didn't save the file, the input file. Okay, control S. Let's do a run now. Sorry about that. Let's close this. Okay, looks fine. Let's take the output. All right, so we are getting this table structure here. Okay, so that's how we will build a dynamic table. Okay, forgot about these alignments, small corrections. That would be doable. Okay, but you hope you understand like how we are getting dynamically the values. Okay, in based on the input transaction. So right now we have five data, so we are displaying 5. If it is 4, then we will be displaying 4. If it is 2, then it will be displaying 2, and if it is 10, we'll be displaying 10. Okay, now that's what we are going to see now. What I'm going to do, right, let's say like I'm going to have this much record, okay, in the input file. Just an example, okay. So just repeating some data, so don't worry about the data part, but we are repeating the row based on the transaction. So let's see how it reacts. So no error, data. So things are fine, but we want one more thing, okay. One more thing, like this here, if you see after 4, 5 is coming in the next page, okay, or it's overflowing, that is fine. But we don't have, like when somebody look at this data first time, they will not know what is this data is all about. So we may need this heading to come along with these tables when it overflows, okay. So for that, what we are going to do, that is where we are going to use the set group option method function. And then I did mention that earlier, okay, where we'll be having so inside the form we can set up some header and footer, all those things, okay. So that's what we are going to do now. So what I'm going to do, sorry. So I'm going to add wait, okay. So I'm going to add a group here, okay. First of all, we need to set that thing into add a group, something like this, okay. So even here we have seen like this stay together, okay. Like that, there is something called group pagination. So that's what we are going to see now, okay. Add group, let's select the section and click on add group. Okay, so now in this group I'm going to add the transaction header. So just drag and drop there, that is fine. So this one I don't want to do that because it will throw error, okay. Throw error in the sense Documaker will close automatically. So I'm just going to right click and add the transaction here, okay. Transaction, okay, all right. So now move this down and then I'm going to add the trigger. Just copy it from here. Nothing much there, but just quickly. No trigger counter, okay. So this is done. Now I will remove this. This is out of the, you can delete this. So we have everything inside the group, okay. Now now what we are going to do, like we need to set up that group pagination function, okay. First of all, so just select that group pagination in the group and group I mean in the group label, okay. So you need to select that, and then this one we have to consider this has to be a header. So for that you need to select the section rule, okay. So the steps are described in the slide. So if you want to follow up later, you can just refer the slide, okay. There is an option like set receipt option, set group option, set group option, and then here you can see set group option, header and footer, okay. So in our case, like it's an header, comma, copy on overflow, okay. So what I mean by that, so we are considering this as the header in this group. This is our header, okay. And there is no footer at this point. Just keep it simple, okay. So we are adding header and we are keeping copy and overflow, that's all, okay. So but let's add a footer also, but I think this will work anyway, but let's see. Footer will come back later, okay. So I'm just thinking like if I'm missing something, okay. So let's run this and see. I think we have checked in this. Sorry, I think I need to edit this file again. Okay. Oops, I didn't. I have checked out it again and I have made the changes. Okay, so header, we know these changes, right? So we have header and we don't have any footer at this point. So let's run these. Okay, let's see what we are getting. Just to make sure that things are fine. All right. Okay, let's check in and run this. So this is our old output. Okay, just to keep it, take a look at it, and then now we are going to run it again. So you can see this is coming fine now. Okay, so in the second page, once the overflow is done, we are getting the footer. I mean the header also coming here. The table header. Okay, serial number in name is coming displayed not only in the first page, in the overflowing page also, it is getting displayed. All right. So that's how we will do. Okay. So let's move on. Let's say like I want to display the premium amount, the amount that we are getting here. Okay, the total amount. Okay, so in that case, like what I'm going to do, let me edit this file and quickly create a section with a field in it. Okay, so this one will be just field name, that should be fine. I'm going to use a dal function here. Okay, and I need to call the dal. I have that dial ready here. Okay, so let's open that as well. Premium. Okay, so this is that. Copy. Right. So just auto size. Okay, so just this field we are nothing having in this section. Okay, so these kind of sections also we can create. Okay, premium total. So here what we are doing in the, let's take a look at the DAL script here. We are counting the record of T0 records, T10 record, and then for each T10 record, I mean, so for there is a, we are setting an integer value as 1 and total equal to 0, while 1 is less than this counter. So total count we are getting. So let's say like we have 5. For every in that we'll be getting the respective value. Okay, from 16 from this record at 16th positions. Okay, so we'll pass that value for every record and we'll store that information, the premium value, and we are keep on adding to that value, and finally we are sending final output. We are sending the total to the function where it is called. Okay, so in this case, like the final value will come and sit in this field where we are calling. Okay, so that field I'm going to use in the section here. Okay, so I'm going to add that section, premium total. Okay, so just click on OK, and then it will be there coming down, bring in the transaction. So I'm just going to adjust it somewhere like this. Okay, so just keeping it here. Okay, so other things are impacting, that is because this one is It's this side. Okay, let's keep it like this. Okay, so in here, in this case, like we'll be having the total amount. Okay, amount, let it be like that. Okay, so now we when I run this, it will be coming in every place. That's where we are going to use this option again. Okay, so earlier we had, for this we had set group option and that copy and overflow. So for this one we are going to use same set group option. Okay, so this one would be like footer. Okay, that's all, very simple. So add this thing and then you add footer, that's all. Okay, so you don't need to copy on overflow, it just need at the last page. Okay, the last page of once these transactions are completed. Okay, so going to save this, check in. Now let's hit the run. So here it's not showing. Okay, so if you come down, you can see the total amount is coming here. So that's how we will deal with these kind of things. Okay, so I try to cover that as well. Okay, but that's how we will having some kind of a dynamic table. Okay, this kind of a dynamic table, and there could be any other way also to handle this kind of transaction, but this one way would be helpful for you to understand things easily. Okay, and few other things I covered as part of non-table topics, like the staying together and group pagination options. So if you feel confused or anything like that, you can just rewatch the video or you can refer the documentation for more details. And also we, in the last video we talked about stay together and how to move certain section to go go to the second page if it's not fitting here. Okay, for the entire section. Okay, so not keeping the signature on any separate page, so we did that. So all those things. Okay, so that's all for tables. Let's take a look at the summary what we learned so far. So we know like what is table properties and options. We have seen like how to shade a cell properties and merging a proper cells, things like that. And we talked about static tables and dynamic tables, and we also talked about the overflowing content. Okay, all right, so that's all from this video. Let's see in another video on different topic. Until then, let's have a good day. Thank you.